There's a kind of emptiness that's hard to explain. You're not sad, you're not in crisis, but something feels missing, like a quiet, hollow space that nothing seems to reach. You scroll, you work, you laugh with friends, but deep down, there's a silence you can't escape, a sense that life is happening all around you, and somehow you're not fully in it. You've tried to fix it. You've filled your time, your shelves, your heart, but the feeling always returns, like an echo in a house you thought was full. What if that echo wasn't a flaw? What if the emptiness you feel isn't something wrong with you, but the first sign that something false is falling away? In this video, we'll explore what that emptiness truly is, why it shows up when it does, and how Eckhart Tolle's teachings reveal a quiet truth beneath it all. You're not empty, you're just waking up from everything that isn't you. Let's begin. The feeling you can't outrun. You keep telling yourself there's no reason to feel this way. You've got a job, a roof, people who care. But still, there's a hollow echo in the background of your life. It doesn't scream, it whispers, and that's what makes it so disorienting. Because from the outside, everything seems fine. But inside, you feel like a guest in your own story. It's not depression, it's not drama. It's a quiet, persistent ache, like something is just out of reach. You scroll past inspiration, distraction, entertainment, but nothing lands. It's like food with no taste, music with no melody. You start to wonder, what's wrong with me? But what if you're asking the wrong question? What if that hollow feeling isn't something you're missing, but something false that's falling away? Because the truth is, that emptiness might not be a hole. It might be a doorway. If something in you feels empty, then what exactly have you been full of all this time? Let's go there. Let's look at the self that was never really you. The self that never existed. Most people spend their entire lives building a self, not realizing it was never truly theirs. A name, a role, a reputation. You became the achiever, the good one, the strong one. You built an identity out of what the world rewarded, out of what kept you safe, out of what got you love. But here's what no one tells you. That self, it was made of mirrors, reflecting expectations, projecting images, but never rooted in who you actually are. And one day, maybe quietly, maybe all at once, those mirrors begin to crack. You no longer find joy in what used to define you. You question things you were once sure of. You feel detached from the story you're supposed to be living. And that detachment, that strange distance from your own life, that's not failure. That's ego losing its grip. Eckhart Tolle calls this the beginning of awakening, when the mind-made self can no longer hold the weight of your truth. The emptiness you feel isn't the absence of self, it's the unraveling of everything you were never meant to be. And the more you try to cling to that false self, the more hollow it feels. But what if the worst thing you could do right now is reach for something to make it go away? Let's look at the trap that deepens the void, even as you try to escape it. The trap of trying to fill the void. No one teaches you how to sit with emptiness. So the moment it shows up, you scramble to cover it. You chase a new goal, a new relationship, a new version of yourself. Something, anything that makes the ache stop echoing. You tell yourself, if I can just get this one thing, maybe I'll feel whole again. But here's the trap. The more you reach outside yourself, the deeper the hollowness grows. Because the ego doesn't want peace. It wants distraction. It wants to stay alive. And its favorite fuel is the illusion that something out there will finally complete you. That's why no matter how much you achieve, the satisfaction fades. That's why even love can feel distant. That's why presence is hard. Because the ego is terrified of silence. Eckhart Tolle calls this the pain of becoming, the endless loop of trying to become someone instead of being what you already are. And so the void becomes this strange paradox. You fear it, you try to fix it, but it only grows louder when you resist. Because what you're trying to feed was never real to begin with. The void isn't asking to be filled, it's asking to be understood. And once you stop trying to cover it, you begin to feel something else, something quieter, more honest, more alive. Not a solution, not a fix, but a presence. And it doesn't speak in thoughts. It doesn't need to explain itself. It simply says, I'm here. Let's meet the part of you that never needed to be filled, because it was never empty to begin with. The place that never left you. Beneath all the striving, beneath the craving, the identity, the chase, there's something in you that never moved. It doesn't need a name. It doesn't need a purpose. It simply is. That place, Tolle calls it presence, the still, spacious awareness behind every thought, every emotion, every story you've ever told yourself. You don't create it. You don't earn it. You remember it. And when you stop feeding the hunger to become, you begin to feel it again, not as an idea, but as a quiet returning. Maybe it shows up in a moment of stillness, when you're staring out a window and the mind finally lets go. Maybe it's in the breath you didn't notice until now. Maybe it's the pause between words, where nothing is missing and nothing needs to be added. This is where Tolle's teaching becomes not just a concept, but a homecoming. Presence doesn't fix the void. It reveals that the void was just the ego's fear of silence. The pain wasn't in being empty. It was in believing you had to fill it. And when you rest here, in the body, in the now, without asking the moment to be different, you begin to see you were never lacking. You were just looking through the wrong lens. And in that shift, from chasing to allowing, from fixing to feeling, something unexpected begins to rise. Not more, not fullness, but peace. Let's talk about what it means to feel whole, without needing anything extra to get there. The fulfillment that needs nothing. You spend so long trying to feel full, but fullness was never something you had to chase. It's what's left when you stop needing more, not the high of success, not the comfort of validation, just stillness. The peace you were looking for wasn't missing, you were just facing the wrong direction. Tolle says, you are the space in which everything happens. That space, it was never empty. It was simply you without noise. So if you felt that quiet ache, you're not broken. You're not lost. You're remembering. Presence isn't a destination. It's what's left when the chase ends. Subscribe if this spoke to what words usually miss. Let's keep remembering together.